Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, January 12th. So today we do have the moon moving out of Virgo energy, moving into Libran energy, preparing us for the last quarter moon in Libra that we will have on Saturday. So the shift out of the earthy energy of Virgo to the airy energy of Libra is always a welcomed one. We will have the moon go void, of course, at 6:07 p.m., locking into Libran energy at 9:57 p.m., again, Eastern Standard Time. With this Libran energy, we're definitely going to feel light and fluffy. We want to be playful. We want to negotiate. We want to compromise. We want to find peace and harmony in all that we do, especially in our heart space and with our mental realm. There are 11 different aspects here today. 8 of them involve the moon. And don't forget that today we have Mars going direct in Gemini energy. If you haven't listened to that astro forecast, you should definitely do that. You can find that astro forecast in January 2023 energy forecast playlist. And you can find the bigger, broader picture in the 2023 energy forecast for the entire year. So Mercury and Neptune right out of the gate make a very positive aspect with one another. And this is great for some aha moments, for some manifesting energies, if you will. Mercury being ruler of the mental plane, ruler over this Virgo moon at this time. Definitely doing a deep dive in the past, but bringing a lot of that energy and attention back into the present moment. We're finally at the point in this Mercury retrograde where we're not looking back as much. We start looking forward a little bit, and Neptune being the ruler of our higher selves, intuition, and dreams, we're definitely tapping into a vision, to a dream that we want to create. Again, Mercury being in Capricorn energy, the manifesting energy of the zodiac, where we have a lot of powerful ideas, thoughts. What it is that we speak upon is very powerful as well. So be very, very careful with what it is that you are focused on in your mental plane. The moon goes ahead, trines the sun. We get some earth on earth action here. The moon in Virgo, the sun in Capricorn. The moon in Virgo, of course, trying to create order out of chaos. And the sun in Capricorn loves order, loves strategy, loves methods in order to get things done, to correct a couple of things and start building towards our future goals. That is right up the emotional alley of Virgo as we are looking to identify the problems so that we can fix them. And with the moon and the sun kind of illuminating the past and the future, what we're left with here is this present moment where we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, really looking at the details of our thoughts, of our emotions, of the circumstances of our lives, and trying to figure out what needs to stay, what needs to go, what needs to die, and what needs to grow. The moon is going to sit across from Neptune, who is in Pisces energy. Virgo and Pisces energy sit across from one another in the zodiac wheel, but have a lot in common because they're both on the healing axis. The Virgo energy wants to heal this physical realm and our mental health, while the Neptune in Pisces energy wants to help heal our spiritual selves, our emotional selves. But there's an opposition here, which means that we might be too focused on our physical circumstances, not allowing enough magic and possibility of the cosmos, of our higher self, of the universe itself, kind of, adding a divine script, if you will. We're not allowing enough space and time and energy for the magic of the possibilities. At the same time, we might be so far into la la land, dreaming up a beautiful dream for ourselves, that it may not be realistic for us to actually bring to life. And of course, as everything in life, the goal is balance. That is where we can focus on our current circumstances and open the door to some magic, to some possibilities, and really conjure up a different perspective on what it is that we could believe is possible for us when we aren't so stuck in this physical realm and aren't so stuck in la la land, when we meet each other halfway. The moon bumps into Saturn in such a way that is a little bit awkward, giving us a little bit of an opportunity to learn, to grow, to implement something that we have learned. So Saturn being the Lord of Karma, ruling over systems and foundations and structures. In Aquarius energy, trying to show us from a big vision of where it is that we want to be, breaking it down into smaller manageable pieces on what it is that we actually have control over right now, what it is that we need to start building. And of course, the moon in Virgo energy, very, very focused on the details, loves coming up with logic, loves coming up with strategy on how it is that we're going to make things happen. Again, the Aquarian energy being visionary, futuristic in the realm of imagination, and Virgo energy being down to earth in the here and now and able to bring things to life. You best believe that karmically speaking, yes, we may feel a weight of the to-do list very heavily on our shoulders. We might have a sense of duty, of roles and responsibilities that we have to kind of jump up and kind of rise to the occasion in order to complete. But we're coming up with a system, with a method, with a strategy that is going to work for us so that we can still do what we need to do in the here and now, but constantly be working towards creating the kind of reality that we want to manifest. The moon bumps into the true node in not a nice way. The true node, of course, trying to get us on the right path to get us to where it is that we want to be. And the moon in Virgo has a lot of questions. We have to ask the right kinds of questions. And sometimes we don't know the kinds of questions that we should be asking. Emotionally speaking, we don't feel confident enough to go ahead, to take action, to move forward. A lot of that has to do with Mars, again, preparing to go direct. But right now, there is this constant review of whether or not the path, the choice, the direction that we feel we should be taking, whether or not that's right for us, whether it makes logical, practical sense, or whether it's just our intuition and our heart space calling us to pursue a new path. This is going to put us a little bit in the highly judgmental, highly critical phase of discernment. And we might find ourselves just picking ourselves apart and really allowing a lot of fears and doubts and insecurities to take over. That will kind of crush the earlier dreams that we kind of got excited about. Venus goes ahead and sextiles Chiron. This is a beautiful energy because it means that we're kind of open to overcoming some of the fears and doubts and insecurities that we can identify within ourselves. And we're going to become a little bit more clear on what it is that we want, we need, we desire, where it is that we've gone out of our way in the past in order to suppress or deny those wants, needs, and desires. And this is definitely going to put a much healthier perspective on our relationships, seeing where it is that we haven't been honoring ourselves, where it is that we've been constantly pushing our own wants, needs, and desires to the back burner to make other people happy. We are more open to meeting each other halfway. We are more open to kind of focusing on the positives, on the silver linings, on the beauties of our imperfections. And we are definitely a little bit more raw and vulnerable with what it is that we need to feel connected, to feel like we're supported, and to feel like we are basically being called into healthier relationship dynamics. There's a lot of growth being realized. You know, Chiron is the wounded healer. So our wounds need to be illuminated in order for us to heal them. But this particular sextile is a great energy for us to actually see where there's an opportunity for growth and healing to actually take place. 3:37 p.m., again, Eastern Standard Time, is when Mars finally goes direct. We will likely be feeling a little bit of anxiety, a lot of restlessness. I'm going to advise that you resist your impulses with all the effort and energy that you have. We are going to need a little bit of time to kind of acclimatize to this particular shift, and our inner energy isn't going to be feeling so freaking good. It's a positive thing that Mars is going direct. It just isn't going to feel very safe and secure and stable. And again, huge, huge lesson in energy management, in impulse control, and really acting out on our passions, on our desires. Is going to be a hard thing to resist, but we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to make sure that the energy and time and attention that we're pouring into this new avenue, this new idea, this new project, this new direction is used well, strategically. And that's what we should have been thinking about while Mars was retrograde. The moon is going to bump into Venus in not such the nicest way, and would suggest that we're really starting to pick ourselves apart and really starting to question whether or not our standards are too high and whether we're asking too much of other people and what it is that actually brings us happiness and joy. And again, the moon in Virgo, beautiful, wants to fix all of these problems, but we definitely tend to beat ourselves down before we're able to build ourselves up. The moon is going to trine Pluto, though. This is highly suggestive that whatever beat down we are actually doing to ourselves is actually an aha moment that we needed to have, because Pluto is the great transformer, and Pluto and Virgo energy have a lot in common because they like to do the deep transformation on the deep psychological level. So emotionally speaking, there is a shift taking place. There is a shift taking place in our mental plane as well. And from this, there is like a little bit of a true transformation of self, true transformation of our ideas, of our path, of our direction, of our choices moving forward. So it might feel a little bit intense to begin with. And again, Mars just went direct. So the intensity is going to be there. However, I think it's going to lead us to kind of reorganizing and restructuring our physical realms, our emotions, if you will, our perspective, our ideas in a much more powerful way. The moon is going to bump into Saturn energy, which at this particular point is the very kind of, I'm going to say, tipping point of us feeling the shakiness of the moon being buoyed. The moon trining Pluto was the last aspect that the moon in Virgo actually made before going void, of course. And of course, everything kind of gets shaky and uncertain when the moon is void. And so to bump into Saturn energy, thankfully for us, it is a positive aspect. It does kind of mean that we are re-examining the roles, the responsibilities that we felt very heavily weighted under earlier in the day, examining the big vision that we have. Of course, we just had a huge transformation in our thoughts and in our emotions by bumping into Pluto. So this might change the course of our direction, of our strategy, and actually bringing new things to life. And then at 9:55 p.m., we have the moon interacting with Uranus, which is only 2 minutes before the moon actually locks into Libran energy. So this Virgo moon is going to be at the critical crisis degree of the 29th degree. And this always brings a huge freaking intensity. And going into an awkward interaction with Uranus, the great awakener, who is retrograde in Taurus, trying to illuminate for us where it is that we're afraid to make changes, what it is that we're afraid to let go of, where it is that we're overly attached to people, places, or things, you best believe that we're going to have a huge aha moment, because again, moon in Virgo just wants to identify the problem in order to fix it. We're going to have a huge aha moment, a huge epiphany on where it is that we're blocking ourselves from making this, huge leap forward. And especially now with Mars direct, we're going to be making up for lost time and seeing a lot of progress and productivity take place. The moon interacting with Uranus in this way is a shock to the system, is a jolt to our emotions, is an aha moment that we can't unknow. And whatever creeps out of our unconscious and illuminates to us where it is that we've been blocking ourselves, you best believe that we have a solution to remedy that particular issue, and that we will essentially free ourselves from that blockage as the moon shifts into Libran energy and we find peace and harmony and compromise in our thoughts and in our feelings once again.